There were massive protests over the weekend, spontaneous protests in the US about President Trump's immigration ban from a list of 7 countries supposedly to help prevent terrorism. These countries were countries from which no previous terrorist attack had ever happened in the USA, but which the US had recently bombed. So there were spontaneous protests because most of the people that affected were refugees, or they were legally permanent residents of the US, or they were on student visas. They were people who were legally allowed to be in the US already. They'd already gone through the process to make it legal for them to get on a plane and go there. And they were stopped at the airport because they were in flight when the president signed that order. Or they can't leave the country they're starting from, they're stranded. So there were massive spontaneous protests in the US at airports and courthouses, and the ACLU brought several, I think, lawsuits and got granted a stay, which is not the same as the law being struck down, of course. And there's been a lot of outrage here about that as well, but our hands are really not clean on this recently. I mean, historically, yeah, we're terrible. But even recently, we've had years now of crowds of people camping or living in shacks outside Calais trying to come here. They're refugees. They are running away from wars which we have had a hand in. We export arms. Lots and lots of arms. Which are then used to create refugees who we won't let across the channel. And Brexit, the Brexit vote, when we talk about the Brexit vote being racist, we have to acknowledge it was partly about refugees. Right, there were 2 kinds of racism that kind of really factored into the Brexit vote. One of them was migrant labour from Eastern Europe. Poles and Czechs and Romanians coming into work. Because they're in the EU, they have that legal right. But, there are Polish shops on the high street now, so we're being invaded. Because we're horrible and racist. Those people are not taking jobs that British people would be doing, by the way. They are harvesting cabbages. They are cleaning toilets. They are doing things for sub-minimum wage a lot of the time. They are being exploited. But we feel attacked because they exist. So let's vote for Brexit and wreck everything. And the other racism was the refugees. It was that massive poster of brown people walking down a road fleeing war, out of which at least one white person was photoshopped, by the way, with the words "Europe is full." That's what Farage was peddling. Leave the EU and we won't have to take any more refugees! So we're furious about Trump and his refugee ban. And that's right, and we should be furious, because the new Reich is getting set up awfully fast over there. But if we're going to do better, we have to mean it all the time. Not just when we can be cheaply outraged at a ban in another country. Have you got a spare room? Because we kind of need to start smuggling out the refugees. I've got a spare room. It's not very usefully placed. It's a rural spare room. But I've got one.